Hello and welcome to Central Coast Adventures. Today we are checking out a trailer dolly. So early subscribers to our new channel, you know that we recently purchased a Coleman 17B trailer. And where my house sits, we're kind of on a private road that's more like an alley, where like it's the front yard of my house and then a small driveway and then a brick wall. So the way our house is situated, it's virtually impossible to maneuver the trailer. Even the 17B, as small as it is, only 20 feet, it's still pretty impossible to maneuver that thing around in front of my house. Especially my neighbors have a lot of cars and people are parked, out front. And so it's a little sketchy. So first thing, on the top of my list was a trailer dolly. So that being said, we were kind of up against it. The trailer dolly came like literally 4 days before we were supposed to pick up the trailer. So I don't have any footage of unboxing the trailer dolly. I had to get it out of the box and get it assembled. One thing I will tell you from my experience with that is be ready to do some assembly. It comes pretty much frame, motor, and then everything else is separate. You got to bolt on the tires. You got to bolt on the little casters on the front. You got to assemble the handle. You got to assemble the controls for the handle, plug everything in, and get it all together right out of the box. It comes, definitely assembly required. But anyway, that being said, the dolly that I went with is called the SuperHandy Electric Trailer Dolly. I actually got mine on Woot for an incredible deal. I think it was around $700 on sale. Retail on Amazon right now, it is a little over $1,000. It's $1,046. I have seen it on sale on Amazon for as low as $900. So if this is something that you are interested in, but you don't need it right away, I would add it to a wish list and kind of keep tabs on the price because it does fluctuate. And if you're not familiar with Woot, Woot is a deal website that is owned by Amazon. So that's another thing you can kind of throw in on a search like for Woot and keep an eye out for it, basically, because the price does fluctuate. It does go on sale a lot. So getting into the specs of the thing, it's 3,600 pound load capacity, which is more than enough. It is a 24 volt, 7 amp, 800 watt motor. It will do a 600 pound max tongue weight. It has a 2-inch ball that you do have to install. It has a forward and reverse switch. 13-inch all-terrain wheels, which are a little bit problematic. I'll get into that more in a moment. And it does use rechargeable lithium batteries that came pre-installed. There was nothing I had to do except plug them in. So that was very handy. Getting into those wheels, one problem that I did have, and you're going to see in my video, I did record a video, or I had my wife record a video of me, rather, moving the trailer around in front of my house with the dolly. And I'll cut that in a moment. But one issue that I had with those wheels is when you turn it at too sharp of an angle, the wheels are a little bit too tall. They hit the tongue jack. And if you have it turned at just the right angle and you're not paying attention to what you're doing, they can get stuck on that tongue jack and the whole thing will pop a wheelie. And it creates a dangerous situation for the person using the dolly. So that's something to look out for. If the tires were just a little bit smaller, or if I was able to move that ball out a little bit more, it would be a better situation, but just a minor design flaw in my opinion. They recommend that you use it on asphalt, dirt, or grass. They don't recommend packed gravel, which is half of my trailer sits on packed gravel, and I didn't have an issue. Again, I'll show you. You'll see in the video, I didn't have an issue with the packed gravel. But I can see why it would be an issue, especially if your property is on a grade. I wouldn't want to try to pull that thing up a grade with gravel. You'd have a bad time, 100%. If you have a grade and it's not pavement or dirt, you might want to avoid this. Another advantage that I have that most people do not is I don't have a traditional driveway. There's no dip or gutter. It's flat to the street, so that's an advantage as well. So I didn't have any problems there. But there are a lot of comments on the dolly that people struggled with that grade, the dip on their driveway. So something to consider. I did not have that issue. So let's go to the video really quick so you guys can see how easy it is to move the trailer around with the dolly. All right, so as you can see, the trailer dolly moves it around quite easily. The Coleman 17B is pretty small. It's only 3,000 pounds dry, as I mentioned. So it's not really an issue. You can see a couple of times where it wants to pop a wheelie. You got to be really careful, and you got to pay attention to what you're doing when you're using the dolly, because it will want to do that from time to time. So something to consider. But as long as you stay on top of it and pay attention to what you're doing, it is pretty easy to use, and it does perform its functions pretty well. So, all right, that's all I have for this one. Thank you very much for stopping by. Please smash that like button if you enjoyed this video and help feed that algorithm. I hope you have a great evening, and like always, thank you for watching.